Prince G28, Prince G28, why don't you follow the current trends? Well, sit down and I'll tell you. Even though you probably just got right back up and not up raw. With the current thing that's going on right now, I have possibly no awareness of anything, even though I heard about Obamacare and I haven't got the full details on it, but Obamacare. The reason why I don't follow current trends is because I I have felt that I got this vibe. I don't know if I got this vibe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, but something's telling me like Trav, information overload is either on its way or currently happening right now. And is it a good one? Is it a bad one? I don't know. You gotta make that call yourself. But that's part of the reason why, or if not the full reason why I don't follow current trends because it's too much. Because I feel like when the human being, I have this theory that when a human being hears or sees or experiences enough injustice, it reacts to it in a reactive way or a proactive way, and something gets done. Now, when you hear about this country getting bombed, that country getting its resources stolen, America losing its rights, fracking going wrong, cartels doing this, Operation Fast and Furious. When you add all these articles up, your head explodes. Your head explodes, and after the residue and every after the explosion, you're just sitting in your computer chair and you just can't believe it. You just can't fathom. You can't put it together. You don't understand how this even is keep going on. How does this keep how does this keep going on? And then you think to yourself, okay, what can I do? What can I do? You're like, all right, I can I can make videos. I can make videos. I can share videos. I can spread the word, spread the message. Probably that will help. And in a way, it does help. Well, what I just picture the scenario as, this is how my mind works. Imagery, a lot of imagery, is picture living in what's those times called again? With the peasants and the castles, femdom? Wait, no. It was something feudalism. I don't know, but those times in the textbooks or the history books where there's peasants and they're working on the fields and there's kings and they live in the stone castles and there's knights and chivalry and just picture those times, right? Now picture that, or imagine the king and his council catch whiff of like an asteroid for some, I don't know how they do it, but an asteroid is coming or something's coming. Now they know they can survive because they have the royalty for it, the wealth, the security, the underground bunker. They got everything because society has deemed them very important. Now the people who don't know the asteroid is coming and has no clue, and probably is going to figure it out 2 days before it happens. It's only going to be a few people in that crowd of peasants that really know what's going on. Now, as the asteroid or meteor or whatever comes close to where the land where they live, it king and the council and the important people just suddenly disappear somehow, or they just cause confusion before they leave. Cause a lot of confusion, and the peasants are like, "What's going on?" And they keep doing what they're doing, right? Because that's what they were born to do. That's what they were, doing. It's a job. That's their role, to be sacrificed. And the people amongst the peasants who know what's going to happen try to tell everybody else, and whoever believes them, whoever doesn't. And about 12% of the peasants end up retreating and leaving somewhere and trying to survive somewhere else. Now, the day of the impact, the peasants of the land are just scared shitless. They're like, oh my god, fucking asteroid meteor, we gotta do something, and if we don't do something now, we're gonna die. They're just panicking and freaking out. They're freaking out. Now, some of the peasants who stayed behind are gonna actually survive, right? There's always survivors, even if it's 1%. And they're trying to figure it out, or they're doing stuff, or they're hiding the best they can, and then it hits. Now, of course, the king and council and the important people of the land are in perfectly good, strong hold, you know, underground bunkers and whatnot. And the peasants who left, a day earlier, a day before, they're safe too. They're safe. Now, the people who left at the last minute and the peasants who stayed, who knows? So, the moral of that story is that one, you're not going to save everybody. Two, plan was set in motion centuries ago, possibly. Three, there's absolutely nothing any of us can do. Hey, I make videos on topics and I talk about stuff too, but to be frankly honest, not to be like a doubt, I do have my doubts at times, but this is a strong fact that I think a lot of people don't want to believe. Awake, sheeple, truthers, everybody alike just don't want to believe this. There's nothing we can do. You're witnessing, I don't want to say the end, but you're witnessing some heinous shit go on in Congress, the Senate, the House, the White House, everything. And no one's doing anything about it. Even if it was all riot with our swords and shields and guns and M16s and, our favorite guns, and especially without body armor, because we just don't seem to talk about that in prepping videos. And we're just marching towards the people responsible who we think are responsible, but they're actually front men, the fall guys. And if we get them, and we, behead them when we lift their head up in the air. Ah, this is America! And, we kill them if we catch them. If we don't catch them, we just don't know what to do because we want vengeance, which I can understand. And what happens after that? No one knows because, like I said before, it's been in motion long before your ancestors were born. We're dependent on the system, like we don't even understand how dependent we're on the system. And not everyone's going to survive. It's too much information. It's too much. I mean, the brain is an impressive machine, I guess, if you want to call it that. But this day and age, this type of information, it's not solely learned. It's not like, like an IV. It's not slowly injected into your bloodstream. It's like a sugar rush, man. Every day, like a fucking information sugar rush. Just, did you know? Did you know? Look at this, look at that, look at that. And everybody's like, oh, okay, all right. It's too much. Because after you after you get all this information, what do? Since most of us are poor, because I can damn sure tell you, if the people making videos on YouTube had the wealth that the 1% had tomorrow, shit would be changed possibly, right? But we all don't. All of us have been in the lower class, middle class range for about all our lives. Almost all of us on YouTube making videos. Am I correct? So, of course we want change. Anybody that doesn't have the power to change something or their lives wants the power to change it, right? But if we're not given that power anytime soon, then how we want to change stuff? By coming together? Okay, well, how will we eat? How will we drink clean water? We've been polluting in the last 200 years alone, or 100 years alone. We've been polluting the atmosphere and the land. Like, when's the last time you've seen an animal? I see people who have pets. I was at the park in where I live, doing a petition and helping my group do some things, get our names out there and whatnot, promoting ourselves. But we're good about that. And I seen this little Puerto Rican, Dominican, I don't fucking know, just Latin, Spanish descent, whatever. And she was pulling this puppy through this water place, this water area of the park, where not sprinklers, but this giant like a picture of giant candy cane, and there's water coming out the nozzle, stuff like that, right? And the puppy gets wet, and the puppy just kind of like doesn't want to move. It just wants to stay there and kind of be wet or just shake it off. And the little girl can't be no more than like 12, 13, 11 possibly, just a teeny, not even a teeny bopper, but just a young girl. And she has the puppy on a leash and she's trying to pull it, and the puppy just like, come on, bitch, like let me just be, like let me just be. And she gets the puppy and she kind of holds him up and puts him towards the water in a way. And if you were like a PETA or like a person who loves pets, you would think that she was drowning the puppy in a way. But I'm looking at the animal, and I'm like, all we do to animals is just torture them. It's funny, like I want to see one day, just one of those newspaper comics where they show you something like ironic or something about like something political. I forgot what they're called. It's like political cartoons or some shit like that. And I just want to see one day, or probably create myself, of where there's a dad or a family man or just someone in the picture making fun of a animal behind a glass window, or something in the zoo, an animal in the zoo. And then there's another screen where it's like it shows the elite with a big, like the elites with a big cigar watching the man watch the monkey in the zoo. So basically what I'm trying to say is like, we're the pets, we're the zoo animals. And that would be the joke, or the catch for the comic book strip. And I'm looking at it like, this chick doesn't even know how to fucking like we all have no knowledge of anything, like of it. That's the scary part that I bumped, not bumped into, but I caught on to coming out of high school, is that well, not even coming out of high school, but just my time on YouTube, is that no one knows anything about anything. Google it. That's okay. Google it if you want to Google it. But to just see this little girl, I don't know if it was her puppy or her family's puppy, but I seen her walking a group of her family members, I'm guessing, or her friends or whatever. But the fact that this little girl is entrusted with an animal's life that was taken out of its natural habitat, or just taken away from his mother or whatnot, or his parents, and it's wet, it's soaked, not soaked, but it's just wet. Just put it in a damn. It was hot that day too, Saturday in New York. Put it in the sun, lay with it, lay down next to it. Yeah, she's pulling it like she's pulling on a leash, like, come over here, come over. I'm not like a PETA guy or a super animal lover, but it's like, what the fuck have we become? Like, what the fuck have we become? Like, sometimes I watch Prophet of Doom 88's videos, and it's just so many people on YouTube I can relate with in certain places. Like, when I'm thinking about dark thoughts, Prophet of Doom. When I'm thinking about, like, funny, cynical, just laugh at the shit, I think of Joe Talk 100. When I think of just like a new guy or someone who's a father waking up to this shit and absurd, he just wants to do something about it, I think of Philip J. I mean, I just think of so many areas or so many people on YouTube when I just have these certain, I won't say epiphanies, but just thoughts in my head. And like, how the fuck did we get to this? It's like a young girl pulling an animal on a leash. I guarantee you, if that motherfucking puppy was a tiger, a 800, 900 pound fucking tiger, she would not dare pull that leash. It's like we want to have power, but we don't do it in a respectable, logical, sensible way. We do it on some dumb shit, like now I got a car that looks better than your car, so I'm better. Fucking childish zombies. Childish carnivore zombies. It's upsetting. I know she's young, she doesn't know better, but who is teaching who is teaching the next person in line? Who is teaching the person next to them? Who is teaching the person on the right or the left of them about certain things? It's like stupidity and ignorance and all the negative things about human beings are being promoted like no other, like nothing else I've ever seen before in my life. Just the negative aspect of human beings is just rich today. It's just up there. It's an information overload. It's too much information. You can't handle it. No one can handle it. It drives them insane because I swear to God, you can hear about all the shit you want. The power goes out. The power doesn't come on for like a week, 2 weeks. You're gonna freak out. People are gonna freak out. No matter how much information you got on who did this and what did that, if you're not alive to fulfill your mission, then poof goes all the information that you overloaded your brain with. Correct? So, hmm. What more can I say?